although the engine is in a new location, now behind the passenger compartment instead of in front of it. It remains a 6.2-liter V8, albeit one making 490 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. With the dual-mode performance exhaust that is part of the Z51 package, it makes 495 horsepower. The Z51 option also adds an electronic limited-slip rear differential, more aggressive brakes, and summer tires. An 8-speed dual-clutch automatic, a Corvette first, is the sole transmission. It is controlled by a push-button gear selector on the center console or two large steering wheel-mounted shift paddles. A manual transmission is not available. In our testing, we recorded a 0 to 60 mph time of 2.8 seconds and the quarter mile in 11.2 seconds at 122 mph in a car equipped with the Z51 performance package and the optional FE4 Magnetar or Heological dampers. We managed a braking distance of 149 feet from 70 mph and recorded 1.03 grams on the skid pad. Even in base form, however, the new Corvette is capable of heroic handling and delivers big thrills on both road and track. The 2023 Ford GT will feature a lot of new hardware compared to the outgoing model. In addition to the beefed-up engine, Ford is mating what it calls a proper racing gearbox to the 800-plus horsepower twin-turbo V6 in place of the regular car's 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. In addition, the chassis has been stretched and the Multimatic DSSV, dynamic spool valve, dampers have also been upgraded to an ASV, adaptive spool valve, setup. The revised suspension, extended wheelbase, and center lock wheels with Michelin Pilot Sport racing slicks should make the GT's increased power output more manageable on the track, which is the only place it can be driven. We can't say without testing how fast it will be. But for reference, the standard 660 horsepower GT street car was able to blitz to 60 mph in as little as 3 seconds when we tested it for the 2017 model year, posting a quarter-mile time of 10.8 seconds at 134 mph. The M8's long nose hides a twin-turbocharged 4.4-liter V8 that makes 617 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. It sends that power through an excellent 8-speed automatic and onto a rear-biased all-wheel drive system that can disengage power to the front axle. After time spent in both the coupe and convertible, our only disappointment about the powertrain is the limp exhaust note. When we strapped our test gear to the 4,251-pound M8 competition coupe, we were blown away by its ridiculously quick acceleration, reaching 60 mph in just 2.5 seconds. Such explosive hustle deserves a hot-blooded song from the quad exhaust pipes. Small weaknesses emerge when pushing the M8, like minimal feedback through the thick steering wheel and a somewhat distant brake pedal feel. That said, those faults don't overshadow the enormous grip, compliant ride, and astonishing nimbleness of a two-door weighing more than 2 tons. The R8's V10 engine is offered in 2 strengths, both potent enough to shake your eardrums with their otherworldly exhalations. The R8's 7-speed dual-clutch automatic isn't the smoothest gearbox. It occasionally downshifts too abruptly, causing neck-snapping acceleration followed by an immediate upshift. The base R8 comes standard with an adaptive suspension, while performance models are fitted with a more aggressive fixed damper setup. Both soak up bumps admirably and provide a comfortable ride that you could tolerate without fatigue on long trips. The R8's supple nature comes with a drawback, however. In full attack mode, it doesn't handle corners as confidently as its rivals, feeling more unsettled than you'd expect the supercar to be. The standard steering setup is direct and relays information from the road to the driver's hands with sufficient feel. Mercedes offers the S-Class sedan with either a 429 horsepower turbocharged 3.0-liter inline six-cylinder engine on the S500 or a 496 horsepower twin-turbo 4.0-liter V8 on the S580. Both powertrains are supplemented by a 48-volt hybrid system and pair with a 9-speed automatic transmission and 4MATIC all-wheel drive. The S580e plug-in hybrid uses an inline-six and an electric motor to pump out 510 horsepower. All-wheel drive is standard here as well. We've luxuriated in the S-Class sedan and put our test equipment on the V8 model, which delivered impressive acceleration. While every S-Class rides on an air suspension, the optional e-active body control has a curve function that subtly leans the car into corners. The S-Class can also be equipped with an all-wheel steering system that makes the big-bodied Merc surprisingly easy to maneuver in tight spaces. Hanging out in the rear of both the Turbo and Turbo S is a twin-turbocharged 3.7-liter flat-six engine that makes up to 640 horsepower in the more powerful of the two variants. The regular turbo model makes 572 horsepower. All-wheel drive is standard, and shifts are handled by an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Porsche claims a 0 to 60 mph time of 2.6 seconds for the Turbo S, but at our test track it blasted to 60 in just 2.2 seconds. These acceleration times grew even quicker during our test with the 911 Turbo S lightweight. 60 mph arrived in just 2.1 seconds and it blasted to the quarter-mile mark in 9.9 seconds at 138 mph, a perk of weighing just 3,557 pounds, 89 less than before. Aside from the explosive acceleration, the 911 Turbo exhibits insane levels of cornering grip and strong brakes, making it a true performance powerhouse. The cabriolet variants are slightly heavier than the coupe, but the drop-top Turbo S we drove proved equally thrilling. Both the coupe and convertible version cradle a twin-turbocharged 4.0-liter V8 that produces 710 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. Those totals are funneled through a paddle-shifted 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. The 720S Coupe we tested at our track rocketed to 60 mph in 2.6 seconds and reached 100 mph in 5.2 ticks. We also had the opportunity to pilot a similar version at our annual Lightning Lap, where we called it wonderfully fun and scary fast. We drove one on a twisting and ill-maintained road in California, where its advanced suspension was able to smooth out imperfections and the steering system was a communicative companion. The experience was further evidence that McLaren has unrivaled chassis tuning. A twin-turbocharged 3.9-liter V8 lies under the 488 hood, and it generates a whopping 711 horsepower and 567 pounds-feet of torque. A 7-speed automatic gearbox governs the proceedings, sending power to the car's rear wheels. The 488 is purpose-built to quench your thirst for speed. In our track tests, it made the dash from 0 to 60 mph in a mere 2.7 seconds. That puts it on equal footing with the McLaren 720S. The Lamborghini Huracan Evo is quicker, however, making the sprint in just 2.5 seconds. The 488's suspension manages to be both communicative and smooth, delivering a ride quality that makes this car a reasonably livable companion in daily driving. The Aventador powertrain features a mid-mounted naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12 that develops 769 horsepower. The engine's 531 pound-feet of torque makes its way to all four wheels via a 7-speed automated manual transmission. Although we haven't driven the Ultimate version, we have driven the brutally powerful, track-focused SVJ, which stands for Supervos Jota, and its roofless counterpart, and experienced their tremendous acceleration and kidney-crushing cornering forces. The hefty machines heaved through the corners, but their incredible grip and four-wheel steering systems helped them change direction on a dime. We have also driven the Aventador S and Aventador S Roadster and found the latter's top-down ability makes it the better car for listening to the V12's thrilling timbre. All Chiron models are motivated by an 8.0-liter 16-cylinder power plant. This beast of an engine employs 4 turbochargers to generate a mighty 1,500 horsepower and 1,180 pound-feet of torque. Bugatti claims that the Chiron makes the dash from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a mere 2.3 seconds, and it has a top speed of 261 miles per hour. If the Chiron's standard engine doesn't quench your thirst for speed, step up to the Chiron Supersport. This model is equipped with a slightly more potent version of the base power plant, and it produces 1,578 horsepower. At our test track, the Supersport got to 60 miles per hour in just 2.2 seconds and, amazingly, hit 200 miles per hour in under 15 seconds. Piloted by factory test driver Andy Wallace, a model with specs almost identical to those of the Chiron Supersport logged a record-setting 304.773 miles per hour test track run. With every model in the Chiron lineup, power is sent to all 4 wheels by a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission.